street at night. An empty feeling creeps within my soul. I feel so lonely.
Hello everyone again. This is Pastor Derek Strong of the Remnant. And we are here once again, and I want to pick up where we left off at with the parable of the sower. I want to give you like an add-on, a reinforcer to what I was saying earlier in the previous sermon. We're going to be coming out of 2 Corinthians chapter 6, verse 14. But in chapter 6, the verses leading up to chapter 14, Paul is giving you an example of what it's like for someone in myself or in my position, and how they have to maintain a character in front, whether they're seen or not seen. And he's leading up to the climax. After he gets through talking about his character, he's saying, I pray that I haven't preached to you guys in vain. Like, I'm sitting up here doing all this talking and you're not getting it. You see what I'm saying? So he's saying, I pray that that's not the case today. That I'm not just talking in vain, because I know that somebody needs to hear these messages, and this is nothing hard for you to hear it, but to do it and to put it into action. This is the thing where I want to walk with you with. But without further ado, we finna go into 2 Corinthians chapter 6. Like I said, this is to piggyback on the parable of the sower. It goes a little bit more in depth, because now we finna get personal. And it goes like this. Not something, but it goes like this. Chapter 6, verse 14. Be ye not unequally yoked together with unbelievers. For what fellowship hath righteousness with unrighteousness? And what communion hath light with darkness? It seems like it might be self-explanatory, but we're going to go through it. First one, be ye not unequally yoked together with unbelievers. This is a command from God. Okay? Who's doing the talking? Remember, we got to get this. Paul is doing the talking. Who is he talking to? The Corinthian believers, the new church. And what's the subject? Who you hanging out with? That's the subject really right here. And you'll see what I mean in a minute. Who do you hang out with? And who influences you to go against God? See, because he says unequally yoked with unbelievers. That means, plain and simple, you don't see pastors and street gang members hanging out together in church, or the pastor hanging out in the corner with them. You don't see rich people and poor people getting married. Unevenly yoked. Have you ever seen a rich woman marry a man at McDonald's? A poor man? Or a poor man marry a rich man marry a poor woman? Money marry money. Plain and simple. The unevenly yoked, we can go a whole bunch of ways with that. But still, with God, it says with unbelievers. That means somebody who's practicing the faith should not be hanging out with somebody who could care less about what you believe. You'll find out that you're going to eventually get tired of that person and pull away. Or you're going to join them. The thing here, do not be unequally yoked with unbelievers. So, yeah, you might say, I'm going to win them over. He might be thinking, or she might be thinking, I'm going to win you over. The school where I went to out in Belhaven University, we had all type of teachers in our class, professors. And the guys would get a kick out of making people deny their faith. They'll go into the teacher's lounge and laugh and say, we got another one. You can go to seminary school and walk out not believing. It happens all the time. With a degree. And don't believe nothing in here. Or just say they're not Christian. So I'm just giving you an example. And he said, what fellowship have righteousness with unrighteousness? Again, it's like self-explanatory. Righteousness and unright. Righteousness, people who trying to live right. Unrighteousness, you see it every night when you're watching these shootings at 1, 2, 3 in the morning. Come on. Who out at 1, 2, 3 in the morning? Maybe it is you. But righteous folks are probably asleep in bed and ate and checked their children, all the doors locked. You know what I'm saying? What I got to be out at 1, 2, 3 in the morning for? If I ain't ate, I ain't gonna eat then. You know what I'm saying? Because you don't need to get up at 1, 2, 3 in the morning to go get a beer or go get some cigarettes, go get some food. You might walk into something and not come back home. And that go for females too. Getting up, walking at 2, 3 in the morning like it ain't nothing. People be waiting out the unrighteous. So either you part of that group or you ain't. So I don't see righteous people trying to hang out at the gas station or the corner store with the unrighteous. In other words, you see how the two don't go together, and the righteous folks ain't trying to be with you Sunday morning or Wednesday night for church service. So get a good idea on righteous and unrighteous. And then he said, well, communion, that means participation. Or communion, have light with darkness. Folks, the Bible states the sun is for the daytime, for the daylight, and the moonlight is for the nightlight. That's a physical explanation, but a spiritual one would be those who are trying to let their light shine. You know the song, this little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. People who are children of the light, which is what God describes us and Jesus describes us, children of the light, we don't have any communion with darkness. That means people who have nothing to do with God. Period. You just don't, you see how it's two different people in every scenario. One for God and one against. And it continues. And it goes from people, then it goes to Christ. And be ye not unequally yoked together with unbelievers. For what fellowship have righteousness with unrighteousness? And what communion have light with darkness? And what concord hath Christ with Belial? Or what part hath he that believeth with an infidel? Okay, let me cover these in chapters, verse 15. Concord is an agreement or participation with Christ, and Belial is just a title name for Satan. It's just one of his names. Like God has several names, Satan has several names also, and Belial is one of them. And so they're saying, what concord? Just as Christ has no concord with Satan, light has no concord with darkness, and righteousness with unrighteousness. All of these are saying believers and unbelievers should not be intertwined together. It won't work. It won't work, folks. And see, this is the command. All the way up to verse 16. And what agreement had he with the temple? No, excuse me. And what agreement hath the temple of God with idols? For ye are the temple of the living God. As God has said, I will dwell in them and walk in them. I will be their God, and they shall be my people. Y'all get that? Again. And what agreement hath the temple of God? That's you. With idols. That means the temple of idols. What would the temple of idols be? Strip club, or any club or outing. It could be a football game or a baseball game. It could be a basketball game. It could be a prom. It could be anywhere where you think you're going to have fun in. You know what I'm saying? Outside of communicating with God. But I want you to hear this. Let me get you to, because I had it in my notes, but I want to give it to you real good. Let me try 1 Corinthians 3:16. And it states right here, know ye not that ye are the temple of God, and that the Spirit of God dwelleth in you. I need y'all to get that. You see, you've heard the phrase, greater is he that is in you than he that's in the world. That he is God, folks. There is nothing outside of you that's stronger or more powerful than the one that's in you. Okay? I say that because folks get hooked, or it be drugs, alcohol, or sex. That's outside things that you putting in your body. But now when you get addicted, let's say out drinking, people say, I can't quit drinking, or I can't quit smoking, I'm just on this dope for life. Oh, you could quit if you want to. You just heard me say you are the temple of God. So now what? Why and what fellowship has a temple of God with idols? That means your dope. That means your bottle. That means that man or that woman. Oh, God is not gonna make you stop drinking or smoking. That's something you can do on your own. God is not gonna stop you from being promiscuous. And you can't be saying, oh God, stop me from having sex with all these men and all these women, and you get up and go do it. You could do it yourself. Oh man, I wish I could stop drinking. And you keep drinking. No, you could do that yourself. God deals in the impossible. Man got some responsibility on this earth. I did it. You know what? Here's what's serious. I'm sorry I had to do this, but it come to my head. There was a person in the Bible, a woman, 12 years infirmities. 12 years in the same condition. She didn't die, but she had something going on for 12 years in her life. And Jesus healed her. Another person had 18 years of an infirmity in their life. God healed. Then there's a man with 38 years laying by the pool. Jesus had been laying there in this thing 38 years. All under 40. Their probation period. I was 32 years and 5 months. I had to make up my mind to do it. But like I said, it only came out with prayer and fasting. Folks, I had to pray. And then instead of saying I'm going to smoke and get a hoe, I sat down and watched black and white TV. I made myself. I trained myself. Matter of fact, I had help. I went over somebody's house who didn't drink or smoke and sat with them all day to keep from doing what I was doing until I got stronger and stronger and stronger. So I want you to remember this. If you want to drink and keep drinking or smoking or doing what you're doing, you're going to keep doing it. Because you can stop it. You started it. You stop it. God does the impossible. It's possible for you to quit if you want to. You just got to use your brain power enough. Willpower won't do it. You got to pray. And then you got to fast from that thing that you love to do. And that means just stop. I used to go 1-2 months, and then I'll go back to smoke. I said, okay, I'm going to see when it's going to be the next time. I might go 4 months, smoke. I said, okay, I can't get 6 months. Then all of a sudden, it went to years. Mine went overnight. I didn't really want to stop, but it happened gradually. I'm not no overnight success in nothing. So let's, with that said, I didn't mean to do all that, but I had to let you know, you are the temple of God. What has the temple of God to do with idols? For ye are the temple of the living God, as God has said, I will dwell in them and walk in them, and I will be their God, and they shall be my people. That's a promise. That's a promise from God. Let me say that again. As God hath said, not me. I will dwell in them and walk in them, and I will be their God, and they shall be my people. Here's a command. Wherefore come out from among them, and be ye separate, saith the Lord, and touch not the unclean thing, and I will receive you. That's another promise from God. What he said, come out from among them. You know who they are. Folks, cut them off. Oh, give you a story. God asked me to get rid of 3 people in my life. Do you know I didn't do it? I got rid of 2, kept 1. That one, little did I know, I did not get my blessing until I cut all 3 people out of my life. I thought that it wasn't bad for these people to be in my life because they were my friends. But God knows better than any of us. Those folks didn't mean me no good. And because I wouldn't get rid of them, God made them turn on me. Folks tried to hurt me bad. Folks, I'm being clingy. God, these my friends. But he told me in 1991 to get rid of them. It ain't happened in 2023. I hung out with, I deal with them a little bit here and there, but I wouldn't let them go like God told me. And when I finally did it, now I understand. So don't feel bad. You know, when you leave the familiar to go to the unfamiliar. You know, it's a command. Here's a command. Wherefore come out from among them. Who is the them? The unbelievers. All the ones we just named on the way or before we got up here. The infidels, the unrighteous. And he said, touch not the unclean thing. And you know what that was for me. That was the Bible. What is your unclean thing that God's telling you not to touch? And he says, and I will receive you. And here's another promise. And I will be a father unto you, and you shall be my sons and daughters, saith the Lord Almighty. Again, that's another promise from God. And he said, having therefore these promises, dearly beloved, let us cleanse ourselves from all filthiness of the flesh and spirit, perfecting holiness in the fear of the Lord, of God. Folks, when it says to cleanse ourselves of all filthiness from the flesh and the spirit, that's the whole person, in and out, physically, mentally, spiritually. And perfecting holiness and fear of God. That's it. You see, in the last one we had the parable of the sower, and now I done made it more personal. Again, it go like this. We're gonna close it out in a minute, but here we go. Be not unequally yoked together with unbelievers. This is who he's telling you to come out from. I'm just giving you a recap. For what fellowship have righteousness with unrighteousness, and what communion have light with darkness? You need to come out from the unbelievers. You need to stop hanging out with people who just flat foot unrighteous and unlawless. You know you got friends like that. You know you do. You got them for just in case I need you in an emergency, cause you done got mad. Now you want somebody to do dirt with you that you know. You know, so they know you're gonna try to use you like that. They ain't gonna let you do it. They ain't gonna let you go out like that. Unless they want you, unless they looking for trouble. But we all know some unrighteous people right now that we can call up and they'll be glad to come do something for you. You know what I'm saying? And you glad to know that person. But here it is. For what fellowship have righteousness with unrighteous? You can't do it. Pray. Try to do God's way. And I promise you, it might take a long time. It might take some time. But it'll pan out. I'll put it like this. Folks, I go to a church called Garden of Prayer in Broadview. And my pastor, Darrell Williams, he said, and I loved it, because it provoked me to this moment. That's why I have to say this. He told me, this ain't magic. You know what I'm saying? Doing this, what I'm doing is not magic. And for you to draw nigh to God or it's not magic. It's not going to happen in your sleep. You're not going to wake up one day and be closer to God. You have to put in time with God. He says, draw nigh to me and I draw nigh to you. And another thing he said was so important, while you in a place where it don't feel like nothing is happening in your life, I went through a whole year like that. He said, maybe God waiting to see what you gonna do. That hit me like a rock. See, folks, I thought, and I'm gonna be honest, I thought after I graduated from school with my ministry degree in social work that the church I was going to, they were gonna come and everybody put hands on my head and ordain me to be something or to do something with the church. Nothing. So I sat and wait. Like I've seen other people, you know, they get ordained. They people lay their hands on folks and touch them, and now you a preacher. So I thought if I went to school and got my degree and went back and showed it to the church, they would some kind of way have some ceremony for me. But that didn't happen. That was in 2016. Here it is, 2023. Like I said, maybe when the pastor said, maybe God waiting to see what you gonna do. Like I said, we have responsibilities. We have stuff that we have to do also on this earth. So I had to take a step out in faith. And when I took a step out in faith, a door was open to me. And I'm able to do what I'm doing right now. Well, folks, just like I'm teaching you, I got to teach you too. I don't know everything. I have to get help. But I know that I'm educated enough, well enough to teach this to anybody on the most simplest and breakdown level, because we're going to stay within the context of where I told you. And you can always go back, reread for yourself, and ask God to give you understanding and enlightenment. Break up your heart, that fallow ground. You know what I'm saying? And receive some of this word and quit being so doubtful. You got a real teacher now who you can sit down right beside with and go right through it with you. Like he said in verse, wherefore come out from among them, in verse 17, here go to them that he was talking about. The unrighteous, the people who are in darkness, who just don't have no respect for God at all, no respect for anything religious. You got to come out from among them. When he said from them, I'm giving them to you. Belial, what Concord of Christ with Belial, which is just another name for Satan. I hope ain't nobody hanging out with them, but you don't know. And what part have a believer with an infidel? An infidel is a non-believer. If he's saying, And what agreement has the temple of God with idols? For ye are the temple of the living God, as God has said. I will dwell in them and walk in them, and I will be their God, and they shall be my people. Remember what I said in 1 Corinthians 3, verse 16? Know ye not that ye are the temple of God, and that the Spirit of God dwelleth in you? So every time you do something, when you're putting something in your body, just know that's how the phrase is. He know everything that you're going through and what you've been through, because he lives inside of you. That used to be a problem with me. Remember me saying how God know how I feel. He ain't never smoked crack. He ain't never been with no hoes. He lived inside of me. He saw and went through everything I went through, because I took him through it. Just like you taking God through everything you doing to your body and to yourself. And it needs to be a change, folks. You need to clean yourself out. Colon cleanse, but do a spiritual cleanse. So, I will be their God, and they shall be my people. Wherefore come out from among them and be ye separate. Separate yourself. Real separation. We might call it bagging off. Just bag off their brother or sister for a minute and see what your life is like. I used to put people on, I used to block people. I block them. And so that's how I did it. And then here we go, he says, and I will receive you and will be a father unto you, and you should be my sons and daughters. Now, the whole sum of it all, the conclusion is this: for we must all appear before the judgment seat of Christ, that everyone may receive the things done in his body according to that he have done, whether it be good or bad. And with that, that's how it rolls, folks. Until I meet you again, I'm Pastor Derek Strong, and this has been another episode of The Remnant. See you next time.
If I have to go by myself, if my mother, my father, my sister, or my brother, I'll go. If I have to go by myself, I'll go. If I have to go by myself, I'll go. If I have to go by myself, I said, oh Lord, if my mother, my father, my sister, or my brother, I'm going on. If I